Hello everyone, it's the Thrifty Hammy, and I'm here today to tell you the only products that you will ever need to buy from a pet store. A lot of people like to go to pet stores as a one-stop shop for all of their pet needs, which can be great, but also very expensive very quickly. If you watched my first video, you'll know a lot of the hamster stuff I got is from PetSmart. That is because I have a family member who works there, so I did get her a discount, which was great, and it was very cost effective for me. But if you don't have that, you could end up spending upwards of $200 just for one tiny hamster. So there are lots of ways that you can get around this, which I'll talk about later. First, let's start with what you will need from the pet store. So first up, you will definitely need to buy bedding. You can make your own DIY paper bedding. It is not as absorbent and it doesn't hide smells as well as the pet store bought ones. So really, buying from the pet store is better. They are very expensive. That huge Carefresh bag I got was $23. So that does add up quickly, but hopefully that will be your only huge cost. You can also buy aspen bedding instead of paper bedding. It is about the same cost where I'm at. It might be cheaper where you are, and if that's so, then that is a great substitute as well. So the next thing you're going to want to buy is definitely some paper litter if you're going to litter train your hamster. You can make your own litter just like you can make your own bedding, but again, it is not as absorbent and it doesn't hide smells as well. So I do suggest buying from the store. That huge box, the huge bag I got was only $7 for that big thing, and that'll probably last me quite a while. So if you are buying some, it's okay to buy off brand. Just make sure it's not dusty. It should be relatively dust-free. The next thing you'll need is some store-bought food. I think each of those bags there cost me around $10 each. I don't really remember, but you will need to buy these from the store. If you know a lot about hamster dietary needs and you are able to get fresh ingredients fairly cheaply, then you can make your own seed mix. That can save you a lot of money. But if you don't have the time or the knowledge, then definitely go store-bought. They know what they're doing. I definitely suggest Vitasmart or Hazel Hamster or any seed mix that you find in the store that has high protein and low fat. You'll also want to buy either a pellet mix or a lab block mix, and that will just have a ton of different proteins and things that they'll need to really fill out their diet. Even if you're making your own seed mix at home, you should still feed them these pellets that you can buy from the store. Next thing you need is definitely a wheel. You can't really DIY your own wheel. You really do have to buy it. There are some that are cheaper. I got the silent spinners, which I honestly don't think are the cheapest. The small purple one I think was like $8 and the big blue one was $40. Oh my goodness. I almost passed out when I had to check out with that huge thing, but if you have a Syrian hamster, they need a big wheel, 8 inches minimum, and unfortunately that was the only one that my pet store had that was big enough. So, but it should be a one-time investment, just $40, and that should last you hopefully forever, so that's good. And the small purple one would be sufficient for a dwarf or Chinese hamster. That one is 6.5 inches. The blue one is 11, so that is way above the minimum for Syrians, so hopefully that will work for any type of hamster you have. So the only other thing you're really going to need from the pet store are chews. And if you are getting a brand new hamster like I am, you're not going to know what they like to chew on. Every hamster is different. So I highly suggest this pack here. All of this came as a group. It was only $3 at PetSmart. And it has literally just a little bit of everything. So you can just use that as a tester. This probably won't last long, any of it, but for $3 you can find out what your hamster likes and then buy more of that in the future. I also highly suggest these things. They're called snack shacks. They're 100% edible, so your hamster can slowly chew their way through it. This small one was $10, which is kind of pricey, but it can be used as a toy, a chew, a hide. It has so many different purposes for $10. I thought that was a good deal, and I highly suggest them for any small rodent that chews. But other than that, oh, I also got these. I don't know, just different things. Other than that, I bought this at the dollar store for 4 of these bones that will last a long time. This was $1. So I highly suggest, if you're searching for toys, look at dollar stores, look at the cat and dog sections in your pet store, and excuse me, those will most likely be way cheaper than any of these toys that you will find in the rodent section. Just make sure it's small enough, and if it's plastic, the pieces aren't going to come off and your hamster can't swallow them. So that is it, guys. The only other things you'll need are a cage like the one I'm showing you here. Sorry, it's full of crap at the moment. There'll be a hamster there soon. But I highly suggest bin cages. They are so cheap and you can get them so big. I got a 32-inch one that was only $15 and 5 feet of mesh that was only $5. So my whole cage was $20 and the one you're seeing in the image there was only $10. So bin cages, you get so much for your money and they are so cheap. Litter boxes, you can just pick up a plastic box from any dollar store. They have so many different sizes, and I'm positive you will find one that will work as a litter box. Same thing for hides. You can buy plastic things from the dollar store that can work. You can also make things out of cardboard. There's lots of DIY things you can do for hides that cost relatively nothing. As far as more chews go, because you will need more than what I showed you, your hamster will definitely need more to chew on than just that. You can make DIY toys that are so super cheap. There's tons of YouTube videos on tutorials on the internet that you can find to make really cheap chews. As far as tunnels go, you can buy 10 feet of 3-inch wide PVC pipe, which is more than enough room for any size of hamster. You can buy all that for $10 at your local hardware store. And you can also get 20 inches of 3-inch wide cardboard tubes that are pretty much just $1. You can buy those at your local hardware store or post office. They sell them there. So those are way cheaper options for way more stuff than what you would find at the pet store. And as far as treats go, you should never, ever, ever buy any treat for any small pet from a pet store. You can make fresh treats for your hamster that are way cheaper and way more nutritional for them. Pet store treats are very bad for small pets. They're full of sugar and just everything that your pet does not need in their diet. Good hamster treats, just any fresh veggies, any fresh fruit, as long as it's in moderation. You also want to watch out fruit with dwarf hamsters because they can sometimes have diabetes. And there's tons of YouTube videos and DIY treats online where you can make cute little stuff for your hamster that's totally healthy for them and very cheap. So everything I've shown you today, all the stuff in this picture and all of the chews that I showed you in my other video, all together only cost me $130, which is way cheaper than spending over $200 on a bunch of really expensive store-bought things that you don't need and might not even be good for your hamster. So yeah, that's about all my tricks I have for first-time buyers. If you have questions, please leave them below. If you have comments, that would be really helpful. Like the video if you liked it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!